All right, it looks like his last pick is taking a while on the last second there. I think that was random.
Oh, that does look like it was random. Has he disconnected? I don't know what the ruling is on things like that. It could be misfortune, I guess, but I don't know what the ruling is over here on randoms or things. I don't think he would have picked misfortune. Not the best of carries. She's quite squishy and doesn't have an escape. Indeed, Sauron does have a point there. Oh, blooming heck, some of the blockers. Sorry, it's the last game of the night and it's 3:30 in the morning. Although they will be changing champions. Captain Boobury, randoms twice. That's how OP he is. Although it could actually be a misfortune pick. She does have high damage and high mobility until she actually gets hit. Looks like we will get MMKH on, what do you call it? Zillion again. He did quite a good job. Early game he wasn't doing much, not much damage. The targets of his ultimate were dying rather fast. It wasn't really paying off early, but late game it seemed to lead to the pentacap, the 5 cap, and that won the game. Although Painkiller did a very, very good job on Malphite 2 games running, so I would expect Painkiller to be on the Malphite again, and I am expecting some great things out of him again. He's been quite map aware, good at peeling off his carries, just paying a lot of attention on the whole. We do have the Eve pickup again by ZaberZ. High burst, AP nuke really, quite high mobility. We do have Darius picked up, we did say he was open. Now we did see Darius take a slight edge against Cogmore in the bot lane earlier, so it could be a Cogmore versus Darius. He does also deal with a Kayle, especially with a bit of speed shrine abuse. But I don't know, you don't really want to be rushing 4-mil. You do want CDR and you want damage. The Frozen Heart, I think, would probably have been better to rush early in that case. Reducing the attack speed, which reduces the magic damage, and he's got the armour. But it did pay off. Fizz, you don't see Fizz very often. He's quite squishy, but that's negated by his high speed, high manoeuvrability, and just troll pooling on his pole. Quite difficult to shut down. Although we do see Jarvan picked, Fizz can jump out of that. Although if he locks onto Misfortune, she will be very, very dead. No real escape, doesn't have a flash or anything else of the sort. All it takes is one Jarvan ult and she's pretty stuck. So, once again, if this is another Nash's Tooth Kayle, this is going to be quite a magic damage heavy lineup from Team Point Defense. Team Point Defense is the side on the right. We do have Magic Malcore locking in on Jarvan again. He has done quite well with Jarvan. Jarvan is a relatively high damage bruiser with a lot of interruption. He's got his knock up, quite a bit of damage, an armor pen on his Q, and his ultimate can lock someone down without the escape pretty damn hard.
Alright, well, this is the official lineup here, and yeah, I definitely agree. There are, I think, a few too many AP champions here. Even Kog'Maw, even though he is an 80 champion, he does do a significant amount of magic damage with that W. So I can't imagine that this. I mean, I can't imagine how exactly this is going to go. It's probably going to be the Jarvan going bottom, as we've seen, or no, rather, actually, it will be Kog'Maw if Sauron is their dedicated bot laner, which it seems as though he is. It looks like it's going to be Kog'Maw bottom. So
although it could be Cogmore versus Misfortune, or Kayle could also go bot lane, leaving a Zillion ulted hyper carry top lane could be devastating. We're just going to have to see what happens with this. Do you have a message on Skype? Oh, I'll turn the Skype down. Yeah, just trying to equalise your sound a bit, and I may have put you a bit too loud. But no worries, I shall turn it down a tad. Hopefully that's fine. Would you mind speaking again, just to check?
Check, check, check. How am I doing?
How's that? How's the volume, guys? Tell us how it's doing. Should be about right. Oh, so I'll turn him back up a little bit, or down a little bit. I'm confused. That should be okay, I hope.
I hear good. I see good. Good is good. Let's do
Okay,
that.
that'll do. That'll do. Alright then. Oh, I will get rid of some of the blockers now, so we see what's going on. We do have 4 exhausts, 1 garrison on Team Pays Evelyn Child Support, and we also have 4 exhausts and 1 garrison on Team Point Defense. You often see more garrisons going on the NA meta though. You do see 2 garrisons quite often, but not today. Not today.
I think they've slowly worked their way down from having 2 pretty much on every team. Now or even 3, I think we saw at one point. Now we're looking at 1 on both teams here, and just exhausts across the board. So these guys looking definitely for those short gains. Just looking to get in there, get those fights working in their favor here.
One thing that I have noticed this tournament that is more EU West style is the lack of snowballing lanes, stalemate lanes. There's usually Maokai's, Nunus and the likes bot lane over on NA, but we have seen Darius bot, Cogmore bot, Trist bot, snowball lanes in action, which aren't so often picked over on NA. So it's quite surprising. Quite happy to see it. And the 4 exhaust as well. That's quite EU style. Let's just post them in chat. This is the game 3 of the best of 3 in Dominate Dominion, week 29, between Point Defence, who are on the right, and Pays Evelyn Child Support, who are on the left. Both teams both have a win. The first win went to Pays Evelyn Child Support. Quite a big win at that. The second win did go to Point Defence, however. They got a late game comeback with a 5 cap. It was quite strong indeed. And you're... Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say we are going to roll into this one pretty quickly here. I'm trying to look at just exactly where the counters are going to come from, and I was mentioning that the Teemo against the Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw's going to outrange that. Not to mention he's got the speed boost from the Zillion, so he's going to be able to stay away from that, and the Kayle actually. Not to mention the 2 ultimates there. So I mean, again, if Kog'Maw is the target of their wrath over on Pays Evelyn Child Support, then they're going to be in for a bit of a surprise with those 2 ultimates.
That they will indeed. Oh, blooming it. This is 3 games this tournament. It's loaded up in the middle of both monitors. Disable the secondary, enable the secondary. But work, god damn it. There we are.
I think that's a little bit better than the blue screen, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, between us we've had a few issues this tournament, but I think it's went alright. A bit of a crash, a couple of connection issues, which we can blame MLG for, but the MLG stealing our Twitch TV. How dare they?
At 1 to 5 here on skins, so Painkiller really repping it hard, but the rest of his team really not following up.
Oh, it seems I am behind live. How far in are you at the minute?
I'm at 6, 7, 8.
No, I am at where you are then. That's okay. Thank goodness for that. I was slightly worried for a moment. Okay, item-wise, we do have a Door and Shield and a Ruby Crystal coming out from Malphite. That is quite good on most tanks. It lets you get the extra resistances that the Door and Shield grants over the Ruby Crystal early on, but it also gives you the Ruby Crystal to build on. I'm going to move out of the way a little so we don't listen to Teemo and Darius spam laughing. On the left-hand side, we do have Infeed on Darius. We do have Captain Boobry on Misfortune, a very unconventional pick. Half-Hearted on Teemo, Painkiller on Malphite, which he did very well with. And Comfortarius on Fears, a pick you don't see very often, a very, very strong AP nuke. And I am Recycled Goods. Your other caster for today is the Frank. And what do we have on the other side then, Frank?
We've got Sauron on Kog'Maw, Nyx on Kayle, Zaber Z, actually, which we've been told is pronounced Zabir Z on Evelyn there yet again, MMKH on Zillion again, and Matcha Melkor rolling out that Jarvan, and we can see just by the posturing here, Sauron is going to be heading bot yet again, and Infeed on Darius could be potentially heading bot. He's the most bot, but I don't want you to have to look over at that side as they are trolling pretty hard. Us casters know it will be Fizz and Comfortarius going down there against Sauron on Kog'Maw, so that's going to be a crazy, crazy matchup.
Now Fizz doesn't have much push, but he should be able to kill the Kog'Maw. This is quite an odd matchup. Odd picks and an odd matchup on the whole. I guess as both teams already have tournament rights, they can take a few risks for the tournament, as it's $5 of RP. Still, it's $5 of RP off stakes, not something you want to give away. That's skins. People love skins.
Apparently not. not everyone pays Evelyn child support this game, as you can see. It is 5-1. And there we go. Confitarius is going to jump and grab that first health relic top lane. There's a lot of action going down here. The bomb is on Painkiller. Is it going to be enough, though? No, he's got about a little bit more than 200 HP. Definitely not enough damage coming from that bomb. Health Relic is grabbed by the Malphite here. Magic Malcor jumping in there. He's going to be the first one to go down here. Bomb did go off on Infeed, catching all three of those characters exhaust across the field here. Infeed will go down. Saber Z is going to get go up top here, looking for that Health Relic there. It was picked up earlier. MMKH will get dunked there as well. Captain Burberry running up to the top lane here. Saber Z is going to catch her out, though. Is it going to be enough? How much damage is she going to output? One more Q. There we go. So Misfortune will get picked up here, and here come the revives as Kale heads up to that top lane. Magic Malcor trying to beat on Half-Hearted here, as Half-Hearted just deals out that poison damage like crazy on those auto attacks. Infeed getting bombed there as well. Kale dealing a lot of damage. Painkiller getting dunked here by Saber Z. Is it going to be enough? Oh, Misfortune with the kill there, but the Q does go across and picks up the Malphite, who has revived, as well as Evelyn. They're rushing up to this top lane. Bottom lane, just a quick peek. Confitarius has a huge wave pushing on Sauron here, and that Health Relic is up for grabs, though. Speaking of up for grabs, top lane looks like it is going to go down here. Nice ultimate from Zillion as he just hit level 6. Magic Malcor is going to jump away from Painkiller. The turret not yet going down here. Either way, Painkiller with a great ultimate there, landing onto Kale. Saber Z pounding away here. Is it going to be enough? The channel goes down, and the first windmill will go towards Sauron's team point defense here, and Confitarius will neutralize that point. Almost picks it up on bottom lane.
I feel like Painkiller probably should have went for the right click on the turret there. He was trying to walk across, wasn't... Well, did add a little bit of extra time going on there, and I am quite surprised that's occurring bot lane. Fizz is managing to outpush. I guess Sauron is scared of getting in range. A full Fizz combo will drop him very fast indeed. Fizz does seem to be going for the Morellos, which could work against a Cog. It does cut the sustain from a Sanguine when he eventually grabs it, or the Executioner's Calling, whichever he feels today. And it grants him the CDR, and fishes really love CDR apparently. Almost as much as Rat Teemos. Alright, we do have mobilisation around the mid. Sweeper does go up, giving vision on Magic Malcor, who also walks for a shroom. Does manage to EQ out of there. Slow is up, but it's not going to catch him, and he does get the slow return. ABZ does get an extra little bit of poke down on Painkiller. Captain Burberry does get an auto attack for Storm Shield onto Cillian, but isn't really doing much damage yet. Oh, and we do have a pause. Alright, thus far, it seems... I'm a bit lost, actually. I'm not quite sure where to start. Confitarius bot lane on Fizz, definitely not something you're going to see very often. Fizz bot lane, he generally lacks push, and he's quite squishy, and he loses against quite a few bruisers, but against Cogmore, that's a squishy carry. I guess he has a favourable matchup. And then we have to look at Zillion pick, and not in a Puta style. He does very, very little damage in this early to mid-game stage, and he won't be doing much damage later either, but he is there as a pure support. And, well, Evelyn, strong mid-game, not so strong in the very early game phase, but once she gets to 11 as well, ranked to ultimate, does a lot of damage in an AoE, granting a big shield. Cogmore does get to be a hyper carry late game if his doesn't shut him down too hard. Jarvan, strong bruiser, didn't start with a Prospector's Blade, however, did want to go for the earlier phage, it seems. Darius looks to be going towards a Brutalizer, as I doubt many people are going to be building armour on the front of, what do you call it, point defence, so it does make sense to get a bit of that flat pen. Misfortune has got a Vamp Scepter, T2 boots and Prospector's Blade, so she's got a little bit of damage, but not that much at the minute. Teemo has got his sweeper already, so once he's got his Shroom Field up, map awareness will be quite strong. And we do see a Heart of Gold and a Chainmail coming out on Malphite, meaning he'll probably go for a Randuin's. And bot lane, I'd assume Fizz is going to go for a Morellos. We do have Zazy going rather deep onto Half-Hearted there, but does walk into a Mushroom and take a blind in response. I swear a Half just jumped up out of nowhere there. Oh, Cogmore does manage to kill Darius, but dies in return. Probably to the Cog dot.
And that worked out pretty well for Cogmo, though. He did pick up that double kill pretty handily. And the quest objectives have gone Refinery Windmill here, so it's going to be a bit unfortunate for point defense, as Refinery and actually Drill, I believe, have both been held by the respective sides in both the previous games here. I don't think they've ever been really taken down. Nyx is going to, however, take down the Quarry down here, so great job there. Great backdoor from the Scale. although I don't think she's going to be able to hold here against the Darius, the Malphite, and the Fizz. Really not going to be able to hold there as she does get dunked pretty fast. Oh, a lot of damage actually coming out from the tower itself. That's a 4-point, though, for a couple of seconds there. That's going to give them a pretty huge advantage as they do work almost to a 100-point advantage. They're on about 80 right now with still the 3-point advantage to the 2 from Pecs and Child Support. Right now, we're kind of seeing whether or not this Misfortune is the proper pick here, whether that was full-blown random, as she is getting snapped off pretty quickly here. The exhaust goes down. She does get her ultimate off. Half-Heart is getting picked off here as well. Painkiller ult into the middle of the Jarvan ultimate. Great pull there from Darius as well, getting himself exhausted. Saber Z is running away here. However, with the dunk, in comes Darius, and he will get that kill there. So a lot of kills going into the favor of Pecs and Child Support, but they really need to get that point top, and they need to start focusing characters up there.
Infeed is taking a lot of harass on his way out. Rushing a Brutalizer does mean he's very, very squishy. He is lacking in the resistances at the minute, just having a null magic mantle at the moment. Fizz is just going back to pushing and farming. He does just want to be able to take out... Ooh, looks like it'll be a Nash's 2 Fizz. That's a different build. It does grant CDR, but it's not something you see very often. I guess with the DFG nerf, you could have other item priorities. It used to be DFG, Lichbane, and Deathcat were pretty much your core items, and then your Void stuff. We do have Captain Booberry getting a bit of additional harass down on MNKH there, taking him to about half health. He is coming back, going to try for a bomb, but just disappears back off when he sees her there. Jarvan and Eve are closing down on Half-Hearted, though, chasing him onto the turret. Eve did take the aggro, and Half-Hearted narrowly escapes that combo there. Very little health. Captain Booberry does try and run away, but as soon as he takes damage, that mobility is gone. The dunk was cancelled out by Kayle ult there. And the Zilean ultimate just means that not only does he not get dunked, but he comes back from the dead again. That guy just doesn't want to die. Nash's Tooth is quite an odd item indeed. Captain Booberry is farming, but Saber Z and MMKH, if they did get a speed boost, could probably go on the aggressive and kill him. Yeah, he knows that he is backing off now. And Comfortarius is going on a pretty aggressive lane down here. He is trying to get the speed, trying to capitalise on that and close the gap on Cog, but Cog's just pushing the lane and sitting back. He doesn't want to take the fight, just wants to farm up.
And is actually doing a really great job of farming down in that bottom lane, getting his gold pretty high at this point, 5,600, highest on this team, actually highest on the entire board right now. And I do have to attribute a lot of that to the fact that he has pulled off so much CS. In comes the ultimate, though. Great exhaust, great timing on that exhaust, rather, making sure to negate a lot of that damage from the ultimate. In comes Evelynn, great ultimate for herself. There's a kill for Fizz as well as Evelynn, and in comes the dunk from Jarvan. There's an ultimate, great ultimate in return from Misfortune. Wow, we might see an uprise of MF here, as she has actually been doing a phenomenal job at these 1v1s, and even in some cases 2v2s, and that ultimate really spelling the game changer there, as now Pecs and Child Support on the back of that great ultimate is going to go ahead and pick up their first advantage of this game, and they're going to be on 3 points, as the points are now finally draining away from point defense as they push towards top here. Pecs and Child Support looking to take out Nyx here. Malphite getting very close to doing that. In he comes. The health relic, though, is going to help out quite a bit as Kayle picks that up. 3 characters top lane here versus the 2 almost dead characters, although they both have ultimates that are going to save their lives. There's Zilean's ultimate coming online here. Jarvan's coming in to try to save the day here, though Nyx is still staying alive. There's the ultimate, dodging the damage from the passive, though not quite dodging the damage from the dunk, so really not having that work into their favor. A 4th point now being picked up, and Pecs and Child Support is now got that quest objective, as well as they are 3 points to 2 right now as Kog'Maw picks up that point again. Fizz almost getting picked off there, but that quest objective giving them that nice buff, giving them that extra damage. It's going to be really huge for them in the coming moments as they really need to defend this windmill.
As we've seen in that fight, both Kayle and Zilean were aggressing on the midpoint on a lone Malphite, but with the Storm Shield he did manage to out-harass, out-damage and prevent the cat from both of them, proceeding to chase up with his ultimate and almost kill the Kayle alone in a 1v2 scenario there. That was very, very well done by Painkiller again. Another example of why Malphite is such a strong tank. Oh, no. My apologies, the camera's bugging out a little bit there. Do have an Infinity Edge already on Misfortune here, and she is going to be building towards the Phantom Dancer. Magic Malcore is coming in, goes for a hard engage on Teemo, but that brilliant Painkiller ultimate does keep things going. Invulnerability there by Kale does keep her alive at very, very nick of time there, but she is finished off by Painkiller there. And Fizz does manage to kill Eve Bart. And Cogmore is still dead, as is Jarvan. It seems Zilean is the only one up now. Jarvan and Cogmore are both up, but Zilean will be taken out for a second time. They should probably back off here, as Jarvan will be on his way back now.
Jesus, and an unstoppable misfortune right now. Just doing work across this field. That movement passive is actually working very, very well for her. She's able to just hunt down characters and keep them off of her. 4 points now for FaZe Devil and Child Support, and the advantage is about to be theirs. Confitarius goes down, though, in the dunk. Almost going out, but not quite. He still has that online right now. Pulls in the Kale. There's the dunk. Finally going out, though. Evelyn there to defend. Really needs to pick up that point, because even getting this point is not going to put them into the lead, but they're going to stop bleeding these points for themselves at 288 to 272. Things are about to be turned around here in favor of FaZe Devil and Child Support. And we've just been waiting on that moment for just seeing how dominant this MF is. Jesus Lord. Up to dominating status right now. And almost now going to be hunting down this Zilean. I believe Zillian's ultimate is just almost online. There it is, with that W being activated. His ultimate does come back online here.
She has hit late game on an Infinity Edge based attack speed steroided carry. It's a dangerous prospect if you can't shut it down, and with the Zilean they really don't quite have the damage to shut it down or the initiation. Kale does have a bit of damage, but Malphite is there to peel everything off of Misfortune, who is now trying to zone Kale at the fountain. Dangerous play, but they are bleeding points out of point defense at the minute as they do it. Jarvan has caught Darius in an ultimate here, and he does have the Storm Shield, putting Darius a bit behind in the fight. He does try to go for MMKH and get a bit of a dunk there, but the damage doesn't arrive. Half-Hearted gets a bit of damage down, but not enough to get the kill. And Misfortune just gets a slow in the Health Relic and runs away. She's rather low. But Saber Z does run into a Shroom there, meaning vision is granted on both her and Zilean. And Zilean will be taken out. He did use his ultimate on Saber Z. Saber Z did just then suicide into the tower to get the Zilean thing. Oh no, miss ultimate there by Kale. She accidentally ulted Jarvan instead of Saber Z. I'd assume it was accidental anyhow. Although Saber Z has revived now and is on the way back. Nyx has ran into a Shroom there. Wait a minute. It wasn't the ultimate. It was a bloody Jarvan shield, wasn't it? I've been tricked by animations. My apologies, folks. And Nyx narrowly survives against Malphite there. This is still 4 cap, so it will be going back to a 3 cap at the minute. Although we do have a big push coming back by Infeed and Half-Hearted. Infeed does miss Apprehend there. I mean, they don't quite close the gap, but Half-Hearted did get a full cap on there. And just so you know, Cillian's bombs don't delay a cap until they actually detonate. The 3-2-1 countdown doesn't delay the cap like it does a trap turret aggro in Summoner's Rift. Darius does manage to take down Evelyn, but Cogmore comes around and picks up the Darius. Misfortune almost took out Jarvan, but Cogmore just came to clean up, and Painkiller is on his way back up on his own, so he is going to try and go for a back cap here, it seems. Attract the attention away, make sure they're not going for the top point. Keep them behind on points. They are bleeding points at the minute. It's been a long time since they've had 3 points on point defense. Point defense can't defend points at the minute. Poor guys.
Oh, and it looks like the Duke out here from Sauron on Kog'Maw onto this Fizz. It's going to go either way here. Sauron looks like he has the advantage. No. The dash forward there is going to help to pick up that kill. Kog'Maw being handed the kill. Jarvan not landing that last auto attack. So Kog'Maw is going to go up there. Has quite a few kills under his belt. Now looking at that Phantom Dancer as well as the Frozen Mallet. Great ultimate from Misfortune going to come in there. Saber Z is going to get jumped on here, though, trying to pick up the MF, but Teemo, MF, and the Darius going in there, getting work done. Painkiller now dunking onto MMKH. Zilean ultimate going off onto Kale here, but Kale being hunted down by MF and Teemo. Dunk from the Darius, saving himself at the last second, getting off that last bit of damage. Sauron now chasing down Painkiller with the ultimate, is going to pick up that kill. Right now, we're at a point where FaZe Devil and Child Support has been in the lead on these capture points for a long time, and they're really starting to show it here. 243 to 96 now, and they are not losing points, it seems, for a while, as they are in a pretty defensive position. All 4 characters are top lane as they need to be. 2 characters bottom lane for point defense against this Fizz, which they really need to send somebody else top lane to help deal with this. Try to take out that windmill, but it looks like the fight here is going to go in the advantage of Paige Evelyn Child Support. Teemo and Malphite doing work on the Jarvan. Up top lane, MF looks like she's trying to get the kill on Xavier Z, but it will not happen that way. Now we've got Kog'Maw and Jarvan down versus just the MF down right now. Fizz, however, is getting ganged up on here by the Zilean and the Kayle, and they will start to push forward here, though Darius might have something to say about this.
Indeed, Darius is coming around on the flank. Kayle does seem aware that someone's missing, and has gone for a bit of a flank herself. She does get the speed boost up, hasn't got the slowdown, however, so as long as Ghostblade does just last long enough to get him in range. And the Kog'Maw slow does manage to stop. Oh, the dunk still arrives. No amount of slowing is going to stop that dunk. Once Darius is on his way, he's going to finish that kill off. And we see Comfortaris is back bot lane now. He does have a Nash's Tooth, Death Cap, and a Sheen at the minute, so he's got a lot of burst potential. Troll Pole does manage to go over the slow lane, negating a lot of its effect. And Comfortaris and Teemo make light work out of poor little carry Kog'Maw there. Both Fizz and Teemo dealing very well with carries. One of them having a blind, the other one just having a lot of burst. Zilean does ult, but he is now stuck between a Teemo and a Shroom on his head. And the slow straight up from Fizz there, meaning he is taken out soon afterwards. Kayle is still bot lane, and it does kind of look like... I don't know if point defense can come back from this at the minute.
I definitely don't. I think they're in a bit of too desperate of a position right now. They're losing characters all over the place, although right now that was a pretty decent fight for them. I just don't think with 37 points they're going to be able to pull this one out. The first game we saw, they held on for a very long while, although right now they seem to be a little bit too far behind, specifically in the gold count, not just the points, but the gold count. A little bit too far behind to be able to come back in this one. We do see that a push is heading bottom lane. Lots of creeps here. Misfortune, though, just cleaning up all those creeps, and she's going to be able to walk away from that one with a little bit more gold in her pocket. Not that she needs it at this point. Running around with the PD, Infinity Edge, Prospector's Blade, and building up to even more devastation into this later stages of the game. Evelyn seems as though she's catching out Convatarius on Fizz here with the Kayle in support, as well as Zilean. Fizz finally looking to go down here. He's been alive for a long, long time, though no Malphite in there to help pick up that kill. Zilean ultimate being procced every single time it's online. Nyx goes down here, unfortunately, and Teemo looks like he's going to go down as well. Running into Shroom is Xavier Z, but she will be able to run away from that win with the W. But MMKH, for some reason, running back into that Malphite seems a little silly to me. There's the slow, not quite enough, though. And this health relic is going to be pretty decent, though not looking like it's going to go very well. Bottom point has been neutralized to try to save them for a couple seconds longer, but Fizz here to defend.
We do seem to have a solid defense from Painkiller there. They just need to hold the point for 5 seconds as Misfortune will get the free cap. No, Sauron is going deep enough to get the ultimate off, but Fizz will take him out in return. Sauron does not have revive left over, and Comfortarius does manage to take out Jace as well. That's a pretty much double kill there by Comfortarius alone. Painkiller and Infeed are defending the turret at the minute. Eve does have the ultimate up for the second, but Darius can delay for 3 seconds, does get the kill on the Eve. And he manages to dunk Zilean as well before the game is over. Dunkius wins. And that's it. That is the third game of the best of 3 of Dominate Dominion, week 29. That was the finals. And that'll be Paige Evelyn Child Support as the victors. They won the first game and